What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
All right. What is it? Oh. All right. What is it? Is it the Friday Night Radio Baloney Live? I believe that it is. I am your host, Richie Baloney. How's everybody doing out there? Who got in the chat already? We already got Turtles and Izzy and Spambot and Rosie and Trudeau Survivor. Good to see everybody. All right. Let's get to the menu. Pardon me. Before we do that, hold on. So tomorrow I'm leaving on a trip. And I have done no packing and no preparation whatsoever. I got to do that after the stream. So we're going to keep it short tonight, like 2 hours at the maximum. And let's be honest with ourselves, folks. That's plenty. 2 hours is a lot for most streams. I mean, I know there's streams that are like 12 hours long. I know we used to do streams that were like 6 hours long. But really, for normal people like you and I, just normal people, just good salt of the earth people like you and me, like all of you out there and me, just decent, good, kind people like us. 2 hours, max is like pretty good, right? I think we can all agree on that. In fact, like even like an hour and a half, a lot of really good salt of the earth people like ourselves would say that's a really generous live stream. That's not an hour. Some people stream for like an hour. Can you believe that? No, I mean, I've heard people do that. I mean, I can't imagine having a stream that went less than an hour and a half. But, maybe 2 hours. I mean, as I say, I think that good people the world over think that 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half is actually the perfect amount of streaming. So I guess we'll just have to see. I mean, we're not scumbags like those people that demand like 3 hours, 4 hours. Those people are awful, right? We're not like that. You guys aren't like that. You're good people. Good people. All right, let's go to the menu. What are we talking about tonight? Maybe I've got too much to compact it into an hour and a half or something. I don't know. Let's see. What do we got first?
But bear with me for a moment.
Right. So, Canadian media in relation to Trump. So, Canadian media is either really believes it or they pretend to believe it, but just literally everything that comes out of them about Trump is that he's clearly a madman and he's a lunatic and there's no rhyme or reason to anything that he does. Well, here's a Canadian professor that I guess probably surprised this guy, this CBC guy, because he says, oh yeah, there's a plan. Oh yeah, there's rhyme and reason. So he disabuses this guy of the notion that everything Trump does is just crazy. It's just like everything is just like he's going off a magic 8-ball or something. We'll take a look at that. What do we got here? Tim Burchett. One of you guys sent this in. One of you crazy bastards sent this in. We're going to play it. And I even got some backup stuff here talking about U.S. Africa aid, African Development Fund. Which looks to me, I did a little research on this, and it looks to me like just another boondoggle, just scam, money laundering, whatever. We'll take a look at that. Here we have, so this should be a much bigger scandal than it is in Canada. Here's Michael Ma. He was the conservative, first-term conservative MP who just decided suddenly that he's actually a liberal and he loves everything liberal and joined the Liberals. He crossed the floor to the Liberals. Here he is just gaslighting the country about forced labor camps in China. It's almost as if he's some sort of, I don't know, Chinese Communist Party like agent or something. It's crazy. Anyway, there's a lot on this. We're going to talk about this. And it's really just, you have to be holding. I mean, if you haven't seen this, like, it's hard to believe. What we got here? Liberal spending. Crazy liberal spending. Yeah. And this is just every leftist government everywhere in the West does this now. We'll go through it. And then I decided to look up some more. Just like type in a couple of things into the Global Affairs Canada page. Just gender responsive. And boy, oh boy, The Canadian government is very, very gender responsive around the world on Canadians' behalf. Maybe too gender responsive. Maybe Canada can't afford all that gender responsiveness. What do we got here? What is this? This is, Finland. Crazy censorship in Finland. And actually, there is kind of a parallel with what's happening in Canada with Bill C-9. That's why this is of interest. We will take a look at this. Bill C-9 passed in Canada. Elizabeth May apparently doesn't like it. That seems very unlikely to me. She complains, but Bill C-9 is the bill that will make it illegal and punishable with prison for reading out parts of the Bible out loud. Now, it's supposed to be like anything, any religion, but we know that's not going to happen. It's going to be used arbitrarily. Pierre Poilievre calling out Mark Carney after his first year in office. He has achieved nothing. Let's see. A bit more Canada here. If we have time to do this, I don't know if we'll do it. Major LNG expansion to BC North Coast, except it's nothing but an agreement to have an agreement about an agreement, possibly having an agreement in the future. I don't know if we'll have time to do that one. What do we have here? Oh, yes, Canada crime. So here's an announcement of something that we used to not need. Here is Stephen Miller talking about why it really is like the moral thing to deal with fraud. Maybe Somalian fraud even. What do we have here? So Pennsylvania State Senator Lindsey Williams, in prepared remarks ahead of the committee vote on the Save Women's Sports Act, in effect called for the eradication of separate sports for boys and girls. It's just weird. Just because she can't do sports. Maybe she just hates sports because she's frumpy. I don't know. And then we have the last one that we will get to, and which is a bunch of palate cleanser stuff and a bunch of stuff you guys sent in, and just crazy stuff, and fun stuff, and weird dingbats and weird woke dingbats, and there's like a yak like peeing on a guy's head, and for some reason, I don't know, he seems to like it, and then people who think that they're pigs, and then there's like this, and should we bring up the button? I mean, I guess we have to. You know what? I don't like doing this. But it's the internet rule. I have to do it. Let's try it again. Hold on. Let's let her go. Oh, hold on. We haven't done that for a while. And why? Why haven't we done that for a while? It's the best thing ever. That's what the button on the soundboard is for. One more time. Yeah, they're cheering. She did it. She got it out. All right. And then there's like somebody who like has like a pet seal, which is crazy. And he really did a number on that chair. Wow. And yeah, lots of stuff. We probably won't be able to get to all of it because we're just probably not going to have time. And then, look, if you're watching on YouTube right now, please go to Radio Baloney News. This is the future of Radio Baloney. Radio Baloney News, the second channel. It's been around for about 6 months now. There's 235 videos on Radio Baloney News. And you can watch all these videos yourself. Look at this. Look at all these. Look at all, even with like AI thumbnails on them now, which I'm experimenting with, which makes them look really nice. Look at this, meme reviews and immigration chaos and exposing the carbon tax lie and Shakespeare's birthplace to be decolonized. What the hell does that even mean? Euthanasia dystopia. So actually, there's quite a few Canadian ones here because the channel you're watching right now, if you're watching the live stream, is for live streams and Canadian news. But I'm just actually, I think I'm going to put all of the Canadian news as well. All of the clips are going to be on Radio Baloney News now. And I think I will just change the name of this channel to Radio Baloney Live, and it'll just be live streams here. So anyway, subscribe. There was a guy who didn't, and he died. He was torn apart by dogs, wild dogs. He was just out for a walk in the park, and all of a sudden a pack of wild dogs descended upon him, and boars as well. And they fought over him and ate his body. It was awful. It was just awful. There's no news stories about it for some reason. I don't know why. I totally didn't make this up. But subscribe. Do you want that to be your fate, eaten by wild animals? No. Subscribe. Get the good karma. All right. Listen, everybody. Listen, everybody. Let me just calm down. Holy shit. Something beautiful has just happened. Probably the most beautiful thing that can happen. In fact, this is something that you'll be talking to your grandchildren about. One day you'll tell them of this event that you were just there. You just happened to be there that night. The night that Turtles gifted one subscription to Radio Baloney on Rumble. My God. I woke up this morning like it was just going to be any other day. I had no idea this was coming. We must honor Turtles. Let's do it right now. Best person ever. I know people got their heroes, right? Their historical figures that they admire. I don't know. Maybe it's like Mother Teresa or something. Maybe it's like Einstein or something. I don't know. I'm sure they're all great. But guess what? Compared to Turtles, all human garbage. And the reason is simple. Turtles is the best person ever. One more time. And anybody who doesn't agree can suck it. By the way, thank you so much. And it's the best thing anybody can do for the channel. Getting subscriptions on Rumble. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. We all know that. Now, listen, everyone. When you subscribe to the stream, when you become a channel member, which is really great, or just a follower, whatever, you get good karma, obviously. When you lose your mind, your freaking mind, and send me a bunch of money, definitely good karma coming your way. Easiest way, just like the stream. Just like the stream, you get good karma. And if you do it early, you get extra. So here's Spambot, first like of the stream. That's 6 good karmas. Boom. That's extra. Izzy got a second. That's 5 good karmas. Hello? Let's see. Who else we got in here? Anybody else? Well, if you were 3, you get 4. And then you can do the math. I can't do the math. I'm relying on you to do the math. I've went as far as I can go because of my brain. There's brain problems. Now, listen, let's get to the chat. Then we're going to go through these stories in detail. And we're just going to keep this moving because we ain't got all night, folks. What? Texas two-step. What the heck is happening in here? Let's keep this focused, people. Trudeau Survivor makes such a good point here. Stolen karma is like stolen valor. Only 1,000,000 times worse. 1,000,000 times worse. I agree. If you did not get 1, 2, 3 good karmas, do not claim it. Do not claim that. That's stolen karma. Spambot says, only 8 p.m. here, and I'm feeling like it's bedtime already. Well, it's not. So, Turtle says, happy Friday, 5th like. That's, I don't know, 2 good karmas or something? Boom. Experienced about 10 chemtrail planes over work today. Well, we're glad that you made it. We're glad that you made it. All right. Let's see. Rosie says chemtrails are nasty. So sorry. Trudeau Survivor says, I noticed in the last stream that Radio Baloney was pushing the moon landing hoax. The idea that the lunar lander could dock with the command module orbiting at 3,600 miles per hour seems dubious. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, it's a hoax then. Whatever. I give up. Just whatever you guys say. I'm just going with that from now on. More coffee. What else we got going on? Let's see. Eves, how you doing? Good to see you. Dramus, wait a second. That's the same. Eves and then Dramus. Is that the same person? I'm getting confused. Look, people, I'm confused today. Look, I've been busy all day. I had car problems. I'm going on this trip tomorrow. I have to get everything sorted out. I don't know. My brain isn't working. Hold on a second.
I ain't got a good brain.
I warned you guys. I didn't have a good brain. Anyone see the pro-American rally of pro-Iranians and Cubans? Love. Let's see. And pro-American rally of pro-Iranians and Cubans. I think there's like, I have not seen, I think the one you're talking about as in particular, but I've seen, demonstrations pro, like anti-communist Cuban stuff and, anti-regime stuff for Iran. Let's see. 8 for the money. That's 1.257. Good karmas. Boom. Let's see. What else we got? We got some apples in there. Nice. Izzy says that's as useful as the meeting to set an agenda for a meeting, talking about those Carney MOUs. Exactly. Brian says Carney won't talk to press this weekend. No, he doesn't talk to press much. I think he just did a big sit down with a very friendly journalist. These are the only people he will ever talk to. How you doing, Brian? Let's see. Rosie says Stephen Miller is very good. It is much more entertaining to listen to Dennis Miller. Is he still around, Dennis Miller? Stephen Miller, I always find very captivating. He's just no bullshit at all. He's just all in. Story time with Uncle Kumar. How you doing? Good to see you. He says we landed on the moon. Well, I'm going with that now. I mean, I've always believed that we landed on the moon. There's been people on the moon. I just want to be clear about that. I just don't have the energy to fight with you, degenerate conspiracy theorists tonight. So I'm just saying right now, I surrender. But I agree with story time with Uncle Kumaran. Let's see. Spambot says going to a strip club. Who would do that? Who would ever do that? Is that what Richie said? No, going on a trip tomorrow. Only till I'll be back on Wednesday. And I feel confident that I will be able to do a stream Sunday night. And I feel confident I will be able to do one Monday night. But there is zero chance I can do one Tuesday night. So maybe I'll even do an extra one. Maybe I'll just do one on Wednesday. I don't know, whatever. But we shouldn't be too... We're not going to lose too much streaming time because of the trip. So, Nevada asked, did you know the moon is flat? I give up. I surrender. Whatever you guys say. Let's see. Rosie says, Dennis Miller is still around. My son ran the teleprompter for his last comedy special. Awesome. That's cool. He's been around for a long while. I think one of those comedy specials is how I found out what Tourette syndrome was, because it was in one of his jokes. Let's see. All right. So let's just get to it, people. Let's go before I run out of energy. So CBC Watcher posted this. Christian Leprecht is the only guest on CBC ever to explain Trump's strategy. So the Trump strategy has 3 pillars, he explains. Now, either everybody at the CBC literally has no idea how the world works or what Trump's plans are, or they pretend not to. They feign a total ignorance. I don't know which one it is, but that is the media strategy for mainstream media in Canada, to always have Trump as the boogeyman and to pretend that everything he does is just totally insane and without reason and irrational, and he's just basically shaking a magic 8-ball and doing what it says. That's obviously not the case, and this guy here is about to disabuse the host of that notion. Let's take a look.
But bear with me for a moment on this. After the decapitation, Trump came out and said they're giving us oil, essentially. He said that they're going to, that a lot of this comes down to oil coming from Venezuela. And it seemed to be some sort of arrangement where the Americans would at least buy the oil at market price and refine it in the United States. Now we have the U.S. president talking about the Iranians and some great gift that perhaps has to do with oil and gas. Can you make sense of it?
Oh, yeah. I think this is pillar one.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. Anybody can make sense of it, right? First off, it's oil, and maybe being able to have your hand on the spigot and determine who gets the oil is quite powerful. That's quite a let's say, hegemonic power that you might have, which actually a lot of countries would like to be able to do that. It's really not that hard to figure out. You know, there's China. They get a lot of their oil from Iran. Again, it's not that hard to figure out. Of course, he's completely clueless. He has no idea. This is all just total madness. Anyway, let's watch this.
In the United States. Now we have the U.S. president talking about the Iranians and some great gift that perhaps has to do with oil and gas. Can you make sense of it?
Oh, yeah. I think this is pillar one. So the Trump strategy has three pillars. The first is about energy. The second is about containing China. And the third about his prosperity, especially for those Americans who've been seriously left behind over the last 25 years. And so if you look at the operations and the statements that he's made when it comes, for instance, to Venezuela, also Canada as the 51st state, now Iran, this is very much about the United States becoming an energy superpower in the 21st century, because energy is what's going to be driving artificial intelligence.
Is that about controlling Iran's oil, or making sure that Iran's oil doesn't go to, for instance, China, that where a lot of it has been going?
Having a regime that is sympathetic to U.S. interests, or at least more sympathetic to U.S. interests, without making the mistake that the United States made in Iraq, which is attempting to have regime change society. The message from Venezuela is clearly that the kleptocrats can stay in place. They just need to be sympathetic. And that probably means, you've seen that Trump has not so far gone after the oil installations on Karg Island. So there's sort of an opportunity for the Iranians to come to the table and say, we will deal with you more constructively when it comes to oil and gas exports. And that's important for Trump to contain China, because, of course, a disproportionate amount of that oil, about 90% of the 3 million barrels that Iran produced before the conflict, went to China, in return for which China then supported the Iranian missile program.
But in the midst of all of this, Iran has carried out attacks on many of the Gulf neighbors and set back their own energy infrastructure potentially by years. Are we not going to feel the reverberations of this, even if there is some sort of deal that protects Iran's oil? Won't we feel the implications of this for quite some time to come?
Well, in 2003 in Iraq, none of the Arab states were really on board with what the United States was doing. It appears that not only are the Arab states on board, it appears that, for instance, Saudi is strongly encouraging Trump to continue the campaign that is currently underway. Yes, the repercussions will be significant, and it will have longer-term ramifications also for the relationship with Europe. I think there's going to be a significant sort of split that comes out of this. But we're not at the oil prices that we had in 2008 or even 2012. And I think the markets have actually reacted relatively calmly. If you look, like, since the bombing of Iran last year, American markets are up 9%. So I would say that the Trump administration has decided that this is a manageable risk. And I think so far that's what the markets have demonstrated.
Okay, last very simple-ish question. I'll ask it simply. Whether the answer can be simple is another question. Are we on the cusp of a ceasefire? Is this war about to end?
Well, there's the famous article about 17 Middle East rules to live by in the New York Times by their foreign affairs correspondent. And one of those rules is never start your newscast from the Middle East with a ceasefire, because it'll be over before your newscast is.
All right. That's an interesting one. Okay. Thanks very much, Christian Leuprecht.
So, so this guy seems to think that Trump isn't insane and that there actually is a coherent strategy here. I mean, whether or not it works, whether or not there's unintended consequences and there's kind of chaos built into the whole thing, that's there. But it's apparently he thinks that Trump isn't just this crazy guy who's making it all up as he goes along. Because that would make sense, though, wouldn't it? Like, anybody can read, anybody can just take a look at, like, the Trump national security strategy, right? And what the intentions are. Right, and isolating China. Obviously, oil is going to be a big part of that. Like, it's not that difficult, but this, I think it's just. I was going to say that it's habit with these guys, but it's not. It's an agenda. Let's watch that beginning one more time.
But bear with me for a moment on this. After the decapitation, Trump came out and said they're giving us oil, essentially. He said that they're going to, that a lot of this comes down to oil coming from Venezuela. And it seemed to be some sort of arrangement where the Americans would at least buy the oil at market price and refine it in the United States. Now we have the U.S. president talking about the Iranians and some great gift that perhaps has to do with oil and gas. Can you make sense of it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anybody can. Anybody who thinks about it at all or knows anything can figure it out. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to make sense of, unless you don't want to. Or if you just literally know nothing and you don't care that you know nothing, because it's fashionable to know nothing when you're part of the mainstream media now, in Canada or in the States or in the UK or Australia or wherever. All right. I'm surprised. I have to say, I was surprised to actually see this on CBC. I guess maybe they didn't have a thorough enough pre-interview. All right. Let's see. Do we have anything else here? We already did that. Let's go to the chat for very quickly. Let's see. Judo Survivor says, who will get the membership? That beautiful, beautiful gifted membership from Turtles. I don't know. I don't know who the lucky person will be. Let me see if anybody, nobody's gotten it yet. Looks like spam has gone over to locals because the chat is giving errors. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Denny, how you doing? All right. Let's move on. What do we got here? All right. Eric Doherty posted this. He says, Justin Doge Chair Representative Tim Burchett just filed to abolish the African Development Foundation after its director pled guilty to financial fraud. Every Democrat opposed it. Fraudsters. He says, it's your tax dollars. It's going to Africa. Bring it home. I don't care. So I did take, before we look at this video, before we look at this video of Tim Burchett here, I did take a little bit of a peek at this, at this organization, and it just seems sketchy as hell. I mean, here's the website. There's just nothing. There's nowhere to go in it. It's just sketchy as hell, right? Invoice, renter, payment requests. There's really no information, and I couldn't find any information about the actual grants that are being given out. So as you see here, you go about the program. It just takes you, and that's all of the links on the page. Seems kind of sketchy to me, just a tad bit. Agriculture, off-grid energy, youth-led enterprises. But they don't go anywhere. They don't actually go, the links don't go anywhere. So let's watch Tim Burchett here.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett, the Sleeping Foreign Affairs. I put an amendment on the bill to eliminate the African Development Foundation. It's supposed to be an independent federal agency, but what happened was the director was, let's see, what did they do? They found him, he pled guilty of financial fraud. He was indicted by the Department of Justice in January of 2026. And so basically the bill just abolishes the organization. It's your tax dollars, it's going to Africa, bring it home, I don't care. I'm getting tired of this. And then of course every Democrat opposed it. They put a bunch of amendments on it, you got it, and righteous indignation. It goes back to my original premise that these funds are probably sent back in the form of dark money to campaigns and other things, allegedly. So we'll see what happens when the bill comes up in committee, the full bill with the amendment, and see how it's voted on. I've already had some Republicans say that they had some problems with it, but they're got us. We got to quit spending this money overseas. It ought to just make you furious that we're even having these kind of discussions. But that's what we're doing. Anyway, and the chairman and the ranking member got into it for about, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes. I'm sure you can watch it on YouTube tonight. It'll be quite comical, I'm sure. But I'm disgusted. Thank y'all for sending me here. We'll keep fighting.
Yeah, and as I said, there's very little information about what the actual projects, like what is the money actually being spent on. You've got, links to, websites here, but there's nowhere on here to get more information. There's just nothing. This is the official website for United States African Development Foundation. It's just one page and there's just nothing. It doesn't link you to anything. It's kind of weird, right? It seems kind of sketchy. African Development Foundation, again here. The links don't go anywhere. All the links just go to 404, which is kind of weird, right? Here. So this is, what is this from? This is from the United States African Development Foundation from devex.com. And it's grants of up to $250,000 directly to hard-to-reach and underserved community enterprises that are ready to do their part. Maybe it's also hard to audit, perhaps, as well. I wonder. So all these countries, Benin, Senegal, Guinea, Mauritania, Botswana, Swaziland, there's lots of them here. But there's no actual... There's job listings, but there's no actual information on what any in particular or specific projects, which is kind of weird. I couldn't find anything. It seems like it would be ripe for fraud. Fraud, perhaps. I don't know. Perhaps fraud. Hold on a second. I had one other thing here. Oh, where did it go? Hold on a second. Where was it? Hold on. Give me 1 second. I had another page. I think I accidentally just got rid of it. Minute. No, hold on. Okay. Everybody start your PhD thesis right now while I look for this. What's this one? No, that's not it. What was this one? Nope. Hold on, you guys. Where did it go? Nope, that's not it. I may not be able to find it again. What was this one here? No, I can't find it. But anyway, we don't need to see it. Obviously, there's something very, very sketchy about this. And yeah, he's right to be concerned about it. All right. Let's go back to the chat for a second. What do we have here? I like this skipping one. For some reason, the chat thinks this is AI. I don't think it is. I think those babies are real. Let's see. What do we got going on? Mental Health, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Mental Health says Tiger Woods is in jail. Oh, hold on. There we go. Tiger Woods is in jail for DUI after being involved in a rollover crash. Well, we're going to have to check this out. One more second. Hold on. Let's see. Tiger Woods crash. Take a look. Oh, here we go. All right. Will it let me? Okay. God damn it. Okay. Here we go. Continue to cite. Okay. So what's going on here? Tiger Woods was arrested for driving under the influence after a car crash in Florida on Friday. The Martin County Sheriff's Office said Woods and the other driver involved in the two-car crash were not injured. Well, that's very lucky. In addition to his DUI charge, Woods is also facing charges for property damage and refusal to submit to lawful test. Woods was not under the influence of alcohol. His breathalyzer test registered as 0.00, police said. But deputies determined Woods was impaired. He did not submit to a urine test. So, Tiger Woods, I think, is on the pain pills. It sounds like he got hooked on the pain pills because he's had a lot of like back pain, I believe, right? And I think that was involved in his other crash that he had. And those things are just a nightmare to get off of. You know, a lot of people end up on the street because of those things. A lot of people. So, yeah. And they're dangerous, actually, to get off as well. All right. So, anyway, yeah. Tiger Woods, he's back at it again. All right. Let's see. Spambot got the first like on X. That's 6 more good karmas for you. Boom. Trudeau Survivor has a great suggestion here. Someone from YouTube should come over to Rumble and snag the membership in order to watch the stream on Mondays. Yes, that's actually a great idea. Because if you get that, then you can watch the Rumble Premium stream, which is only available on Rumble and Locals. Let's see. Mental Health says refusing the piss test is how he ended up with the DUI. Well, he's probably on pills, on pain meds, right? Let's see. Rosie researched fake moon landing. I give up. Just whatever you guys say. I believe that now. You're not sharing it. Yes, I know. I didn't see the chat, but we're back. All right. Let's move on. Oh, good Lord. Okay. I wonder if Canada and the Canadian government is infested with CCP agents. I wonder. Let's take a look here. So Rachel Adenko put this out. Disturbing. Does this Liberal MP really, did this Liberal MP really just deny that forced labor practices are taking place in China? So here's Margaret McQuaig Johnson is in committee here, and she's being questioned by Michael Maw. Now, Michael Maw was the first-term Conservative MP who just suddenly decided that he loved Mark Carney, and he loved the Liberals and everything about Liberals, and he loves the Liberal Party. And now he's like 10,000% Liberal for some reason. And I wonder if this will give us a clue. I wonder if he was perhaps a CCP plant, and that perhaps that for one thing, I wonder if the Conservatives, first off, need to be more careful with their selection process for these guys. And then secondly, I wonder if this guy was a CCP plant. Let's take a look.
Have you witnessed forced, just a short answer. Have you witnessed forced labor in Shenzhen? Yes or no?
So he's asking her about the forced labor camps in China for the Uyghur Muslims, where credible sources say that there's 1 million Uyghur Muslims in like forced labor camps and concentration camps in China. And yeah, I mean, if you wanted to look like a CCP agent, you couldn't do better than this.
No. Have you witnessed just a short answer. Have you witnessed forced labor in Shenzhen? Yes or no? So did you get that
I
from
work closely
hearsay?
with Human Rights Watch, where researchers did witness it.
So thank you. Have you witnessed just a short answer. Have you witnessed forced labor in Shenzhen?
Has she personally witnessed it? She personally witnessed it. I mean, look, okay, this guy's a liberal now. Even their beloved UN says it's happening, right? Everybody knows it's real. This is insane. You could not look more like a CCP agent if you tried. It's just, he's so smug about it as well. I guess it's knowing that because he's in the Liberal Party now, nothing bad will ever happen to him again. Margaret McQuaid Johnson, that's who he was interrogating there, says, Mr. Ma says he doesn't believe it because it was written in a report. He has to see it with his own eyes. I told him the Chinese would never show him forced labor, but Human Rights Watch has people on the ground. I gave him their very rigorous report, asleep at the wheel, but he doesn't believe it because he hasn't seen it with his own eyes. At least he says. And he doesn't believe her because she hasn't actually been in there witnessing it with her own eyes. So does he believe in World War II? World War I? Like, I don't know. There's lots of things that have happened, right, that he hasn't personally witnessed, right? Did he personally witness the Titanic sinking? I don't think he did. Somebody should ask him, do you believe that? Do you believe it? Do you think that happened? You do. Well, were you there? This is the state of Canada. It could not be more obvious. All right. Rachel Danko posted this. In response to this, Conservatives introduced a very simple motion that read that the committee unequivocally condemn forced labor practices in China. The Liberals responded by attempting to replace in China with globally. Good Lord. Are we going to have to get into Carney's connections to China? I think we might.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I'd like to move a very simple, very brief amendment to the motion to strike the words in China and replace it with globally, en français, au niveau mondial. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
It's just embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing, it's vile, and it's insane. It shows you just how little they actually care, how confident they are that the Canadian people will support them because of media propaganda, that the media propaganda will have them victorious forever. They can just literally do or say anything and nothing matters. Nothing matters as long as those, $1.5 billion teleprompters on CBC keep pumping out the garbage. So now the mainstream media, including the CBC, this is one of those things where they kind of have to talk about it, right before they just suddenly forget about it and sweep it all under the rug. Let's take a look at this.
One of the Liberal Party's newest MPs is facing backlash over an exchange he had today at committee. Michael Ma was questioning a witness who is against Canada accepting Chinese electric vehicles. That witness raised human rights violations against Uyghurs in China, and here's how Ma responded.
You claim about forced labor in Shenzhen. Have you witnessed this yourself? Have you been there ever?
I've been to China many times.
Have you witnessed
since
forced labor in
1979?
Have you witnessed forced? Just a short answer. Have you witnessed forced labor?
Just a note. Is it possible for him to be more corrupt, to look more corrupt? No.
In Shenzhen. Yes or no?
You can see she's just incredulous. Well, no, obviously not. Like, what does that mean?
So did you get that
I
from
work closely
hearsay?
with Human Rights Watch, where researchers did witness it.
So thank you.
Moments later, a Conservative MP took the floor and she raised an issue with Ma's questioning.
Ms. McQuaid Johnson, I want to apologize for the member on the other side of the table.
Point of order.
Very rude to you.
Okay, colleagues, just one moment.
I obviously in public being accused, and I like an apology from the member from the other side.
Okay, Mr. Ma, that would not be a point of order, and I don't.
Give me evidence that there's any violation that requires an apology for me on my behalf.
Ma's office sent a statement to defend his action, saying Michael used a quick burst of yes or no questions to move away from the anti-China EV witness, then to give the floor to the pro-China EV witness. That was the strategy on paper.
How on earth is that supposed to be better? So to quickly move the questions away from the anti-China EV witness to move to the pro-China EV, like, how is this better? This, obviously, Michael Ma and well, I will also say Mark Carney has witnessed the past decade plus of just endless liberal scandals with absolutely no punishment whatsoever, with nothing, with no consequences whatsoever. And they've just decided, yes, we can literally say or do anything now. It doesn't matter. The Canadian people are so stupid, they will just keep voting for us over and over and over again. We'll just flaunt that we're totally infiltrated by the Chinese Communist Party. And in fact, the Canadian people will love us all the more. It's unbelievable. That was Mark Nixon that posted that. Now, of course, and again, what will happen is that they will do a little bit when they have to do it. They will do a little bit on this, and then it goes right under the rug, like everything else. Let's take a look at the CBC. This should be a big story. Surely this will be one of the top stories on CBC News, right? It's a big story. I mean, he's an obvious CCP plant. Let's take a look. Let's see. Tehran, at least 10 U.S. troops wounded. Here we go. There's Iran again. Fear, arrest, intimidation. Okay. Nuclear energy. It's Iran stuff. Breaking down the IOC policy banning transgender women. Well, what about saying that only allowing biological female into female Olympic events? Everything's always the framing with them, right? Let's see. WestJet was warned about seating plan hazard. That's a bigger story, apparently. Blue Jays are a bigger story, apparently. Let's see. What do we got? Is there anything on this? Is there anything? Air Canada, new Canadian Screen Awards rule out. New Canadian Screen Awards rule shuts out stars from other countries. Some filmmakers aren't happy. That's a bigger story, apparently. Let's see. Settlement for a 23andMe data breach. I don't think these are bigger stories. Let's see. Where? But remember, this is $1.5 billion for these guys to represent all of Canada. Nothing. My God, just nothing. You want to know how a prime minister is manufactured? This is how you do it. Just keep people in the dark. There must be something. Here we go. Down here. Way down here. Liberal MPs' Chinese forced labor comments come as U.S. probes Canada's imports. Maybe there's another headline, like Liberal MP obvious Chinese plant. I don't know. Way down there. Like, they're not hiding it. Well, they're hiding that story, but they're not hiding the bias. It's obvious. It's actually surreal. What else have we got here? Here's Margaret McQuaig Johnson on CTV. So again, they'll do this for a day, and then it'll all be swept under the rug. Never talked about again.
After the meeting, I gave him a copy, my own copy of the report. And he said to me, I don't believe in reports. I don't believe in anything I can't see for myself. And he said, you and I should go to China to see if we can see Uyghur forced labor. And I said to him, they would never show you Uyghur forced labor. You know, the only people who see it are the ones on the ground in China who are being subjected to it. And I've been sanctioned by China for my work on the Uyghurs, including forced labor and other issues related to the Uyghurs, bringing Uyghurs from other countries to Canada. And you know, clearly, I think he overplayed his hand. After the meeting,
Overplayed his head. I think it's just that they know how it looks and they don't care. Let's see. Oh, Michael Cooper, MP, Conservative MP in Canada. Apparently, under Carney, China has more diplomats in Canada by population than any country in the world. Geez, I wonder why. Let's take a look.
Referenced the Jamestown Foundation report, 575 United Front cells are operating in Canada. That's more than just about any other Western country.
United Front is a CPC. United Front is a Chinese front group.
Is that right?
That is correct. Per population, it's massive. We all should recognize that there is more representatives at the Chinese embassy here in Ottawa than there is in the United States, for a population that's 10 times our size.
And it's in this climate that Mark Carney has decided it's time to do a security deal with Beijing. Referenced the Jamestown Foundation report, 575 United Front cells are operating in Canada. That's more than just about any other Western country. Is that right?
That is correct. Per population, it's massive. We all should recognize that there is more representatives at the Chinese embassy here in Ottawa than there is in the United States, for a population that's 10 times our size.
And it's in this climate that Mark Carney has decided it's time to do a security deal with Beijing. Referenced the Jamestown Foundation report, 575 United.
Now, we should also mention that we know that China has interfered in at least the last 3 elections. They also interfered in the Liberal leadership race, which brought Mark Carney to power. So there's that. There's that. I mean, it's just so obvious. It's right in front. It's right in front of everybody's face. Hold on a second. I want to show you something. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? It's down here somewhere. Everybody start your PhD thesis. Let's see. Where is it? It's down here. There's so much Carney China stuff that, oh. Hold on. Sometimes it will just, here we go. This is it. So here is Mark Carney talking in China. And what does he say when he's in China? Let's take a look.
Mine is the first visit of a Canadian Prime Minister to China in nearly a decade. The world has changed much since that last visit. And I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
New world order, he says, in China. So let's see. Did everybody think that it's a new world order led by Canada? No, nobody thinks that. New world order led by China? Well, that would seem to be fairly obvious, wouldn't it? Again, folks, it's surreal at this point. It's utterly and totally surreal. It's so obvious. It's right there for everybody to see. And hopefully, eventually, enough people will actually bother to look. All right. What are we? Almost an hour in already. Yikes. All right. Let's get back to the chat here. Trudeau Survivor asks, Richie, did you actually witness the moon landing yourself? I did. I was there. Were you actually on the moon watching the lander come down? Sure. I was having a smoke. I was having a smoke break. So how can you say the moon landing happened if you haven't witnessed it? Well, I mean, it's a great thing. It's like Michael Ma, right? I'm sure he doesn't believe in it. Was he there? I don't think he was. Let's see. Let's see. All right, I'm going back in the chat, and okay, I think we got it. Trudeau Survivor says Tiger is on oxycodone or tramadol or other some pain thing. Very, very powerful. You know, I remember before I got sober 8 years ago, my second rehab, my 3 rehab visits for alcohol. There was a kid in there, young kid. He was like 20 or something. He was a snowboarder. He injured himself. I think he hurt his back or he broke his leg or something. Doctor handed him a big bottle of pills or prescribed him a big bottle of pills. And before he knew it, he was on heroin. He was injecting heroin. So it's a lot. There's so many stories, like just like a normal kid too. Like no way this kid should have been ever in that position. But doctor got him hooked on opiates. And that's like how many people is that? Is it millions? It's millions of people that this has happened to. Just normal people. Let's see. Freedom Butterfly, good to see ya. All right. Let's see. Oh, and you got the Todd Howell emoji in there. I love to see the Todd Howell emoji in the chat. Let's see. Mental Health says there's no shortage of Democrats on Capitol Hill that I want to slap into the next millennium. So many politicians are so slappable. Don't do it, though. Don't do it. But you can feel it. Let's see. Anyway, so True to Survivor, yes, I was on the moon. I was having a smoke break, and I watched the lander come down and everything. I was going to take a photo with my phone, but the battery was low, so let's see. In like 1969. Let's see. Mental Health says, does CBCNN have any ties with CNN, Richie? You know what? No, there's no like direct ties. I mean, it's like state media, right? But the thing is that they're all the same thing. So you could just plug somebody from CBC into CNN. You could take Jake Tapper from CNN, put him on the CBC. You could do the same with the BBC in the UK. They're all just the same thing, right? They're just indistinguishable. They're just the same faceless cogs in the same propaganda machine across the Western world. Mental Health says the Democrats here in the United States think that we're dumber than a bag of hammers and a box of rocks, Richie. Well, yes, I get that exact same feeling from the Canadian media too, and the same thing in the UK. The unfortunate reality is that there's a lot of people who they just want to believe lies, even really stupid lies. Right? Yeah. Because if they don't, they feel they'll be unfashionable. Bambot says nothing about the explosion on a Toronto high-rise. Well, that's interesting. Let's take a look. Let's go take a peek at that. Toronto high-rise explosion. Now, I have to say, I wasn't there, so I can't verify whether it was real or not. Let's take a look. Possible explosion at downtown Toronto building. Possible explosion. Let's take a look. Should we watch? Whoa.
Guys, something exploded.
That's a pretty big explosion. All right. So Toronto Fire says the fire has been extinguished, which was on the roof of a building under construction downtown. The incident occurred in the area of Richmond Street W and John Street. Toronto police say. So doesn't appear to be anything else on it. Maybe there's something on X about it. Let's take a quick peek. I didn't hear Allahu Akbar before the explosion, but, maybe it was just too far away. Let's go Toronto. Oh, Toronto explosion. All right, let's see if anything comes up. Okay, the reason behind the explosions right now in Toronto downtown. I made this video from my balcony. So it's this building on top here. So what's in there? Oh, what's this here? Oh, okay. So this is, where's that? What's this? Oh, that's 2023. Okay. That's 2 hours. 3 propane cylinders ruptured during a construction fire at Richmond and John Street in Toronto and caused the dramatic fire. Okay, so that seems to be what's happened. That would make sense, and it's this top part of the... Okay. All right, that seems to make sense. All right. Scary stuff, though. Let's see. Freedom Butterfly says, talking about Michael Ma here. Yeah, he wants to witness directly as an unwilling organ donor. Well, China is now the organ donation industry. Top organ donation industry in the world now is in China. And that's because they're just taking organs out of these Uyghur Muslims in these camps and also prisoners as well. So you can go to China and get an organ transplant if you want, but you just got to know it's coming out of somebody who's was alive and unwillingly donated their organ. Because, because I get it's it's just a kind of different place, right? China. Freedom Butterfly says too many commies in the USA as well. Here's the problem is you can't turn out a new Red Guard from every university or almost every university college every year for decades and not expect to have a bunch of damn commies in your country. It's just going to happen. That's the purpose of it. They're doing it on purpose, right? The communist revolutionary professors are doing it to start a revolution. It's the purpose. What's going on here? Spambot's got a link here. Let's take a look. Let's see. Copy link address. Hold on one sec. We'll do this very quickly, then I got to get back to the stories again. Paste. All right. The loonie is flying in the wrong direction. No wonder travel to the U.S. is down 20%. Yeah. So this is last 5 days. Yeah. Well, it obviously the loonie's going to suffer when you've got Mark Carney, who's the king of money printing. And Canadians would have known about this, by the way, if they'd bothered to learn about his time at the Bank of England. But yeah, that's going to hurt the value of your dollar, right? Increasing the number of Canadian dollars is going to hurt the value of it, Yeah, anyway. All right, very quickly. All right, I'm just going to skip down to the bottom here. Ottawa James got the membership that was gifted by Turtles. What a wonderful day for Ottawa James. All right. Mental Health says that, to quote Hank Hill, damn it, Bobby. How many times do I have to tell you? Propane, not cocaine, propane. Spambot says, I am looking forward to the Canadian dollar trading at 33 cents against the US dollar after Alberta votes out. Well, we'll have to see what happens. When is the is it the beginning of April or the end of April when the petition ends? It's coming up fairly soon, isn't it? I have no doubt that they will have gotten enough signatures for the petition. Let's see. All right, let's move on. I got to keep this moving. Let's see. All right. Yeah, here we go. So liberal spending. The Liberals love to spend money. They love to borrow money and then give it to the world for some reason, as if Canada's still a wealthy country. Brian Lilly says, this is the kind of crap that makes people wonder why we have foreign aid at all. So he's responding to this post from Andy Lee. Canadian taxpayers paid $25 million to enhance the adoption of gender-responsive and inclusive nature-based solutions for climate change adaptation in the Guinean forests of West Africa. What on earth can this possibly mean other than just like money laundering or fraud or something? I mean, I've not seen any evidence, one atom of evidence that any of this money that we have documented on this channel for years now, I've not seen one atom of evidence that any of this has ever been followed up on. Like, what are the results? It just seems to be sending money, just putting it in a giant cannon and blasting it out into the universe. Blasting it out into deep space where it'll just float off forever for all of eternity. World University Service of Canada. Nature-based climate adaptation in the Guinean forests of West Africa. I say that nature-based climate adaptation in the Guinean forests of West Africa is none of Canada's business. None of Canada's business whatsoever. If they're so concerned about nature-based climate adaptation in their Guinean forests in West Africa, maybe they should take the lead on this one. Maybe they should just take personal responsibility for their nature-based climate adaptation there. The project aims to enhance the adoption of gender-responsive, whatever the hell that means, and inclusive nature-based solutions for climate change, blah, 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 and more gibberish. How is this any of our business whatsoever? But I thought, I bet you there's a lot of gender-responsive money going out that Canadians don't know about. Let's take a look. So I went to the Canada website, for Global Affairs Canada, and for the grant page, and I just typed in gender responsive. A lot came up. There's 802 records. Well, let's see. We've been doing this for a while now. Of course, Trudeau was very into gender responsive this and that and gender just rice and all the rest of it. Let's see, 1.9 million. This was 2019. Let's see. The project aligns with the government of Uganda policies on gender equality on education by tackling two key drivers of poverty, namely lack of access to education and gender inequality. How is this any of Canada's business? Improving plans to ensure gender-responsive school facilities and policies for the prevention of school-related gender-based violence. How are we to know that we're not just sending $1.9 million to somebody in Uganda who is just going to take the money and buy like a Mercedes-Benz and a mansion, which I have a suspicion that's probably what's actually happening. Here's 2023. That's $11.7 million for gender-responsive midwifery services. Hold on. Gender-responsive midwifery services. Well, thank God. I can sleep now knowing that we've sent, how much? $11,750,000 to Tanzania to strengthen gender-responsive midwifery services. I don't think gender-responsive midwifery services is any of Canada's business. All right, let's see something a bit more recent. What do we got? I'm sure Carney's doing some of this stuff. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on. I mean, you can just see how much money Canada has wasted on this crap. It's unbelievable. Well, there's March 5th, 2025. 1.2 million. Where's that? Cybersecurity capacity building in Ukraine. But actually, no gender stuff in that. Well, that's interesting. All right. So Mark Carney is continuing the legacy, the Trudeau legacy of wasting money. Oh, actually, this goes from March 27th, 2023 to March 31st, 2026. So it's just ended. You would think a lot of this stuff could have just been canceled, right? Could have just been canceled. How much of this stuff, hold on. April 30th, 2025. See, I'd like to think that like a responsible leader who, fiscally responsible leader would get in office, realize that we've doubled the national debt. We've got giant deficits. Maybe we should cut the chafe a little bit, like enabling a high quality forestry carbon market in Vietnam. $6.9 million, September 30th, 2027. It's still running. Maybe you can chop that one. Maybe you can cut that. Maybe Mark Carney, he would never say this, but I would like it if he said, hey, enabling a high quality forestry carbon market in Vietnam is none of Canada's business. Thank you. All right. So yeah, this is the kind of crap that makes people wonder why we have foreign aid at all. I think I'm going to just say it's money laundering. I'm going to assume it's that. All right. Go back to the chat for a second. Burr. Let's see. Freedom Butterfly says, it might be time to pan for gold in Canada. Do not get caught, though. There was you know what? I should try and find it right now. Hold on. I think it was a report from the Privy Council. Privy Council, Canada. Indians will have to forage in forests. This is real. I should be able to find this. I made a video on this. All right, hold on. Let's see. Okay. Here it is. Hold on. Now, this came out from the Privy Council. Social mobility in question, in which it says that Canadians might have to start foraging in the forest for food. This is real. People might find alternative ways to meet their basic needs. Here we go. So it's still underlined from when I made the original video. Let's see. People might find alternative ways to meet their basic needs. Forms of person-to-person exchange of goods and services could become even more popular, like bartering, reducing tax revenues and consumer safety. People may start to hunt fish. People may start to hunt fish and forage on public lands and waterways without reference to regulations. Yeah, they actually put this out. People might have to start foraging for food in Canada because of the Liberals. It's real. This is real. People's mental health may suffer. This was put out explaining what would happen if the economy kept going in the same direction. This was 2025. This was January 2025. This came out. So, yeah, that's a real thing. A real thing. All right. Yeah, so panning for gold, it's actually starting to sound better and better. Let's see. I expect Canada, like, I don't think most Canadians understand, like, where we're heading. Like, I would not be surprised if we have, like, 20% inflation before long, like, on food, like, month over month. Like, I think we're going in, like, pre-Javier Milei Argentina direction. I think we're going into, like, Venezuela territory. I don't think people understand, but they will. Freedom Butterfly says, next project, racism experienced by cockroaches in Papua New Guinea. I would be shocked if they haven't already thrown $50 million at that. I mean, they've done the gender just rice. So, I mean, nothing could be more ridiculous than that. Let's see. Izzy says, I'll be at the conference in Edmonton tomorrow for the signing. I didn't hear about the conference. So I'm guessing that's an independence conference then. Let's non-binary cockroaches. Sorry, non-binary cockroaches. Yeah, it got to be non-binary. If it's not non-binary, it don't matter. Oh, Mental Health is correcting it. No, it's not. It's non-binary transgender cockroaches in Papua New Guinea. Yes. Now it's complete. Ottawa James says, we need Doge in Canada. It's not coming anytime soon. We're going to be stuck with the Liberals for another 3 years now. I'm pretty sure of it. All right, I'm just going to skip down to the end. Tim Burchett is head of the U.S. House Doge. I would like to see him and his family provided 24/7 security. That's for Rosie. Probably a good idea. Let's see. Ottawa James says, don't blame me, bro. I voted Conservative. Well, yes, so did I. It's just that I don't know. I mean, the NDP now, we're not going to get into it tonight, but it looks like they're going to pick like the most absurd, ridiculous communist as their new leader. I think that the leftist vote in Canada is all just maybe permanently consolidated around the Liberals now. And if that is the case, if the NDP is never going to be above like 6-7% in election again, more than 6 seats or something, 5, 6, 7 seats, it means that Canada will have to hit rock bottom before enough Canadians learn, unfortunately. Spambot says, I prefer you go back to my monkey link. All right, well, let's see. Which one was that? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Link monkey link. All right. Link monkey. Paste. All right. Official record. A monkey could run Canada for the next 4 years and do a better job than Mark Carney. So, official record. Satire Squad. A monkey could run Canada for the next 4 years and do a better job than Mark Carney. Powerless Canadians, the just passed Canada budget set a new low $78.3 billion deficit this year, averaging $64 billion annually over 5 years. More borrowing than Trudeau ever managed in a single non-crisis year. Yeah, like a monkey could run Canada for the next 4 years and do a better job than Mark Carney. Just if nobody was. Just if nobody was running it. Just nothing happened. The government just did nothing. It would be better. All right. We better let's get back to it. We're at 1:20. I do have to keep it a bit shorter tonight. And I want to get to these other stories. Christian Emergency Alliance. So this woman has been found guilty in Finland of a horrific crime against humanity. And long-serving parliamentarian and former Minister of the Interior has been convicted for hate speech under a section of the Finnish Criminal Code titled War Crimes and Crimes Against Humanity. So what did she do? She put out a pamphlet. She's a Christian. She put out a pamphlet 20 years ago, suggesting that she was not for gay marriage. So that's the crime against humanity. Breaking, Finland Supreme Court acquits parliamentarian on Bible tweet, convicts her for insult in 20-year-old church pamphlet on separate charge. So they acquitted her on one thing. She was originally acquitted on all of it, but the prosecutors just kept going after her. So she was acquitted twice, I believe, and then on the third crack, they finally got her for something from this church pamphlet. Acquittal for Päivi Räsänen's 2019 Bible verse tweet unanimously upheld. Räsänen and Bishop Juhana Poilievre, I don't know how you say it, found guilty in 3-2 decision for expressing their beliefs in decades-old church pamphlet 20 years ago. Good Lord. The conviction is for making and keeping available to the public a text that insults a group. Wow. She said, I am shocked and profoundly disappointed that the court has failed to recognize my basic human right to freedom of expression. I stand by the teachings of my Christian faith and will continue to defend my and every person's right to share their convictions in the public square. She's going to appeal this. Before the Court of Appeal, the Finnish state prosecutor, Anu Mantila, claimed that you can cite the Bible, but it is Räsänen's interpretation and opinion about the Bible verses that are criminal. Criminal. Bible verses. Coordinated by ADF International, Räsänen's legal defense highlighted the strong protection that freedom of speech enjoys in international law, in addition to being integral to the Finnish democracy. Well, not so integral, obviously. Quote, freedom of speech is a cornerstone of democracy. It is right that the court has acquitted Päivi Räsänen, I don't know how you say it, for her 2019 Bible verse tweet. However, the conviction for a simple church pamphlet published decades ago, before the law under which she has been convicted was even passed, so they're retroactively punishing her, is an outrageous example of state censorship. The decision will create a severe chilling effect for everyone's right to speak freely, stated Paul Coleman, executive director of ADF International, and that's the intended result. It's obviously intended to have a severe chilling effect. It's obviously intended to make Finnish people afraid to speak their mind. So, totally crazy, right? Totally insane. A society that's lost its mind. Just like Canada. So, Bill C-9 has passed, and this bill will... Under this bill, you can be prosecuted. You can be thrown in prison for reading Bible verses out loud if the government doesn't like them. I am disgusted and ashamed of every single MP who voted for this. This is from Chris Ryan. Bill C-9 just passed 186 to 137. You have killed free speech in Canada and will now criminalize the very thing that made this country free and great, the Bible, traditional Christian belief. Open debate. You didn't combat hate. You enshrined it in law. History will judge you. Canadians will remember at the ballot box. Even May voted against this. So Green Party leader Elizabeth May, as batty as they come, even she's against it.
But Bill C-9 not only doesn't solve problems of hate crimes, it not only doesn't give law enforcement new tools, it will create a morass. I'm absolutely certain that if this law is passed as is, it will waste police resources, waste court time, and tie people up in knots in wrongful prosecutions for things that were never hate crimes at all. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I vote against this bill.
And this bill will be used arbitrarily against Christians, right? Nobody else is going to have any troubles with this. It's just going to be Christians. We all know this. We all know this. That's how it works, right? There's one group you're allowed to discriminate against in Canada legally under the law, and that's white people, white men. White men you're allowed to discriminate against in Canada. It's perfectly legal in Canada. So we know how this is going to go. It's going to be used against Christians. Do you think that it's going to be, hold on a second. There was something else I had here. Do you think it'll be used? Hold on a second. I know exactly where I'm going. This won't be too long. Just be a couple of minutes. Okay. Where is it? Almost there. Okay. Let's see. Here's Jihad in Montreal from Alexandra Lavoie from Rebel News. Jihad in Montreal, supporters of the Islamic regime rallied against the United States, Canada, and Israel. Calling for jihad here. Let's take a listen.
Of Izzuddin al-Qassam will keep striving either to be martyred or
striving to be martyred,
get the victory,
or to get victory.
إنه لجهاد.
I heard jihad. I wonder if it'll be. I wonder if he'll have to worry. We know he won't. How about all these Quran verses? I wonder if imams are going to have to worry about reading these in the mosques. I kind of feel like they're not going to have to worry. Slay the unbelievers wherever you find them. Maim and crucify the infidels if they criticize Islam. Yeah, I don't think they're going to have to worry. I think this is really a Christian bill. Let's see. Oh, here's this. I wonder if these people will have to worry about any of this stuff. Death to Canada, death to the United States, death to Israel. This isn't the kind of hate they're worried about.
Death to Canada, death to the United States, and death to Israel.
Well, she sounds nice. None of these people are going to have to worry about any of these censorship bills, the hate bills coming from the liberals. We know this. It's fact. We know. All right. Let's move on. Oh, Rosie finished reading Gone with the Wind while I was looking for that. So she says I'm getting faster. Thank you, Rosie. Down to only one epic novel. That's great. Let's see. So I wanted to just quickly show you this. So here is Pierre Poilievre. This is from CBC Watcher. So Pierre Poilievre is doing Carney's year in review here. And telling us what everybody should know, which is that Carney has achieved nothing. In fact, he's been counterproductive. Let's hear Pierre on this.
And though I made a point of not criticizing the Prime Minister on foreign soil, I return here where it is precisely my constitutional obligation to do just that. Not out of any partisan interest, but out of an interest in pursuing the truth. Now, after a year of this Prime Minister being in office on the promise that he would, quote, negotiate a win with the United States, is a good time to take an inventory of where we are. A year into this Liberal Prime Minister's term, after he won on this famous promise that he would negotiate a win, much has been said, but not much has been done. There have been many fine speeches, signing ceremonies of so-called MOUs, which are in effect unenforceable documents that commit for bureaucrats to form committees and hold international meetings to discuss future plans that may or may not one day be materialized. There have been handshakes and press conferences, announcements of grand goals, of things that will happen somewhere, someplace down the road, but nothing tangible. As Shakespeare said, the whole world is a stage, and the Prime Minister has been great at the stagecraft. But what about the statecraft, Mr. Speaker? He promised that he would give us the fastest growing economy in the G7. We now have the only shrinking economy in the G7. He promised affordable food. We have the most food inflation in the G7. He promised that we would have a solid economy. We now have the worst housing costs and the highest household debt in the G7 and the second highest unemployment in that group. He said that he would negotiate a win with the presidents. Here we are today. A year later, no win, no deal. Tariffs on aluminum and steel have doubled, and on Canadian lumber, they have tripled. He promised that he would build projects with record speed, and yet his major projects office, which this House rushed into existence in 5 days back in June because the Prime Minister said it was an emergency, has still not approved a single project of any kind almost a year later. Not a single pipeline has been approved. And of course, when it comes to building homes, he promised he would double home building. His own housing agency projects that will drop by 15%. There's been no serious tax reform other than to rename the carbon tax into the so-called clean fuel standard, which applies to more goods and will rise to the same level. And of course, there remain interprovincial trade barriers, despite the fact the Prime Minister promised that we would have one unified Canadian economy by Canada Day of last year. Speaking of free trade, he has not concluded a single free trade agreement since taking office.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's all just a big performance. That's being aided and abetted by the mainstream media in Canada. A bunch of meaningless memorandums of understanding, whatever meager, energy or like mining projects were all approved or almost completed actually before Mark Carney became Prime Minister, right? There's really nothing. I mean, we have worse tariffs after Carney than we did before, right? It's just been a disaster. Absolutely nothing. We've got a double the deficit from what Trudeau was planning. So, and we all know that's just money that's going to be pumped in as subsidies to Brookfield companies or Brookfield connected companies, right? It's just nothing. It's been a giant act. It's actually been a farce. And Canada's going to hit rock bottom going this way. I mean, GDP per capita is going off a cliff. It's a mirror image actually of what's happening in the States. It's going down fast. Everything is getting worse. Inflation is getting worse. Everything is getting worse. And it looks like Canada's going to have to hit rock bottom. It looks like Canada's going to have to hit rock bottom before it wakes up. All right. Let's move on. All right, let's keep things going. This one we don't need to bother with. What's going on here? Go back to the chat briefly. Hold on. Where is it? There we go. What the heck? Hold on. What the heck? Hold on, I'm messing everything up tonight. Everybody start working on your epic novels. It'll just be a moment. Where? There we go. Okay, hold on. Oh, this is a fun one. I like this one. There we go. All right. Let's see. Turtle says Hassan Piker should live in Cuba. Thing is, they never go to Cuba. They never go and live in like North Korea, like these wealthy champagne socialists for some crazy reason. Mental Health says, what is an MOU? Memorandum of Understanding. And it's just basically an agreement to meet later to talk about agreeing. They don't go anywhere. All right. What do we got next? All right. So, Canada. Crime in Canada. So things are not going super great in Canada, right? Ryan Garrettson posted this. So let's just listen first, and then I will comment on it.
And to be proactive, we're also announcing today the launch of Task Force Guardian. We know that visible police presence matters when it comes to deterring violence and reassuring our communities. As part of Task Force Guardian, Torontonians can expect to see Toronto police officers deployed with tactical capabilities, including patrol rifles. If you see these officers, whether it's around places of worship or tourist hubs, it does not mean there's an imminent threat. What it means is we are strategically positioning resources to protect our communities and to be able to respond quickly if necessary. These
sounds kind of like they're worried about terrorist attacks. Huh. Because this sounds a lot like what they've got, all across Europe now for some crazy reason.
Measures are informed by best practices and lessons learned from our partners around the world. Toronto is the largest and most complex city in the country. It is Canada's financial and cultural hub, home to major professional sports teams and world-class events. It is our job to do everything we can to keep it safe. And this is exactly what we'll continue to do.
Gee, so I wonder, it sounds very much like counterterrorism, doesn't it? Why would we need that in Canada? Huh. Let's take a look at, hold on a second. Oh, there we go. All right. So CBC Watcher posted this. So there will be snipers for your next unsanctioned family reunion. Let's see. The sightings of a sniper on Saturday during St. Patrick's Day celebrations in Waterloo was met with fear and shock by some partygoers. We used to not need snipers at things like St. Patrick's Day street parties. What has changed in Canada? What has changed? Let's see. What's this here? Alexandre Lavoie, jihad in Montreal. Well, this is interesting. What's this guy saying? Let's take a look. I know we've already watched this, but I want to play it again.
I remind myself and you, brothers, sisters, with the golden word of Izzuddin al-Qassam, will keep striving either to be
martyred, he said, striving to be martyred,
or get the victory.
Or the victory. So martyrdom or victory.
إنه لجهاد.
And he very surprisingly starts ranting about jihad. Huh. But let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. Why we might need, snipers at St. Patrick's Day celebrations now. John Cleese posted this. A few Quran texts to give you some idea of the religion of peace. Let's see. Any religion other than Islam is not acceptable. Muslims must not take the infidels as friends. Slay the unbelievers wherever you find them. Maim and crucify the infidels if they criticize Islam. Terrorize and behead those who believe in the scriptures other than the Quran. Muslims must muster all weapons to terrorize the infidels. I think I'm starting to get a clue why these measures might be necessary in Toronto. Let's see. And of course, there's this. So these were the Hamasniks that were very angry about, they hate Israel and they hate Canada and they hate everything. Let's see. What's going on here?
Death to Canada! Death to the United States! And death to Israel!
Well, she sounds perfectly deranged. What's she saying now? She's saying they're Hezbollah. Well, isn't that a terrorist organization?
We are Hezbollah and we are Hamas!
And Hamas, which is also a terrorist organization, huh? So, Let's go back here again. So why do they need these measures again? Why do they need snipers at St. Patrick's Day celebrations from now on? All this stuff that we just didn't need before. Boy, I don't know. I can't figure it. It's a mystery. A total mystery, obviously. All right. Here's Stephen Miller. Eric Doherty posted this. Says, just in, Stephen Miller lays it out perfectly. Imagine a native Minnesotan who works as a lineman worried about his ability to support. Well, let's just watch the video. So Stephen Miller I like because he just lays it all out there. He doesn't beat around the bush. He's not embarrassed to just lay out the he's not embarrassed. He's not embarrassed to just lay out the truth, clear and stark. Let's take a look.
Minnesotan who works as a lineman or works as a construction worker, works in any job that requires hard work, dedication, focus, who's worried about his ability to support for and provide his family. And then imagine that he has a neighbor who's a Somali refugee who arrived 2 years ago and has a Mercedes and no financial stress and no worries at all in the entire world and never seems to ever go to work at all because he just went to an office in the state, lied on a piece of paper, and got unlimited free money forever for life. That is the system that is being run, and that is the corruption that this task force under the leadership of the vice president is going to demolish. And I'll just give Minnesotan.
And it's not like he's just making this up. I mean, they know it's billions of dollars of fraud. I mean, we've all seen the Leering Center. I mean, that's how bad it is, right? That's how bad it is. They can't even get the sign right. That's how obvious it is. The Leering Center. I mean, Nick Shirley, they just laid it out for him on a silver platter. I mean, if you're going to investigate fraud and you go and you start checking out these so-called daycares, and you see the sign, Leering Center, you know you're onto something. It seems insane to me how anybody could be opposed to what he's saying. It doesn't make sense. It seems like suicidal stupidity to oppose it. It's just so obvious. Let's see. What's this? Diversity is our strength. Immigrants are the fabric of Minnesota. It was only $9 billion stolen. If you don't like it, you are racist. There we go. He went full clown, full clown. Well, Tim Walz did say that, didn't he? He did say that. Eric Doherty says, we became America without Somalia. All right. Let's move on to the next thing. And from Dan Bartkowiak. Today, Pennsylvania State Senator Lindsey Williams, Democrat from Pittsburgh, in prepared remarks ahead of the committee vote on the Save Women's Sports Act. They should call it the Save Women's Sports from Men Act. In effect, called for the eradication of separate sports for boys and girls. So she's going to say something insane. Let's find out.
Female bodies are just as strong as fast and capable.
False. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows that we're a sexually reproducing species, sexually dimorphic. Men's bodies are different from women's bodies in obvious ways that everybody knows, that children know. Everybody knows. Everybody throughout all of history has known until this woman came along, apparently, and some gender professors. Let's continue.
As male bodies. For what reason, other than political gain, are we spending time and taxpayer dollars on a completely made-up issue? There are 8 million.
Completely made-up issue. And she says it with such certainty. Well, you're doing it because of fairness, because it's not fair to have women competing against men who have a natural advantage, even if they're on hormones or whatever, right? It doesn't matter.
High school athletes across the country, and maybe 160 of them are trans. This is the 5th time we are voting on this bill that targets less than 0.002%.
150, I think that's a lie. I think that's a big time lie. In fact, let's go to Grok. Hold on. Let's ask Grok quickly. I don't know if Grok will be good at answering this question. There's some ones he's not very good at answering. But let's see. How many high school trans athletes are there in the United States? Let's find out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's right. There's no official comprehensive national count. So what's she talking about then? Today, high school athletes, approximately 8 million students participate in high school sports. Okay. Data is estimated about 1.8% to 3.3% of high school students identify as transgender. This equates to roughly 270,000 to 500,000 trans high school students nationally, depending on the exact percentage of total student population. So that number she gave is just complete. It cannot be that low. That's just ridiculous. And it should be obvious to anyone that that's a ridiculous number, considering that they're pushing this stuff. I mean, as early as kindergarten now.
Of high school athletes. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. Participating in sports gave me the confidence, time management skills, and ability to work collaboratively that led me to run for office. Absolutely nothing about having a trans teammate or competitor would have taken those things away from me. Female bodies are just...
Well, actually, these people are just living in a bizarre fantasy world, and it's all fashion. I mean, reality is not on her side. Science is not on her side. This is just an insane, delusional world, and they seem so confident in it. It's weird. It's surreal. Let's listen to the beginning thing here again. Let's listen to what she said at the beginning again.
Female bodies are just as strong, as fast and capable as male bodies.
This is just false. It's demonstrably false. It's obviously false. Everybody throughout all of history has known that statement is false. Yet, this is a state senator? I mean, how does this happen? How do you get elected when you're when you're just literally in a different universe from reality? It doesn't say good things about modern culture, does it? I mean, because this is just culture. This isn't science. She's not relying on science here, right? This is just fantasy. This is just made up. It's just lies. There's no, this woman has never met reality, apparently. She wouldn't know what it looks like if she met it. It's just a weird thing. And the better this all is just removed, root and branch, from any position of any kind of authority whatsoever, the better. It really is crazy. All right. Well, that's it. We got to the last tab of the evening. I'll go back to the chat now. And we'll do a bit of chat, then we'll get to this last bit of stuff. And we should be able to wrap this up, hopefully, in like 10, 15 minutes. Because I do have to, I got to, you guys, I have done no preparation for this trip tomorrow. I just haven't had time. I got to do it after the stream, before I go to sleep. And I can't go to sleep too late. So we got to keep it a bit shorter. I think the perfect amount of time, which is about 2 hours, quite frankly. And anybody who wants more than that, I think, is a scumbag. That's just my opinion. And a communist. That's my opinion. That's what I think. All right, let's move on. Mental Health says she looks like she could snap your neck with her thighs. I bet she could. I bet that she could. I bet it'd be a hell of a way to go. Let's see. Rosie says, why are they armed with tactical weapons? Who decides what constitutes imminent threat? Will anyone asking questions be deemed a threat? Well, I think that they know that there's a bunch of terrorists that have been let into Canada. And it's only a matter of time, and the clock is ticking. The immigration policy, I think, is a ticking time bomb. And I think they know that. Let's see. Anybody on YouTube right now watching, go to Radio Baloney News. It's my second channel. It's my new channel. It's only about 6 months old. Please go there. Everything is going to be moving over there eventually. Right now, all of the clips for everything are there. This channel you're watching right now, I think, is only going to be for live streams from now on. So all these wonderful videos, look at all these down here. Meme reviews and immigration chaos and all this wonderful stuff. Fantastic. Everybody's so happy. Just go and subscribe. I know what James says, free Canada. Eventually. All right. Izzy says, female bodies have a vagina. They do. Looks like we lost mental health. Well, thanks for stopping in, man. Good to see you. All right. Izzy says, it's probably false that male bodies are the same as female bodies. I know. I agree with you. Provably, not probably. Provably false that male bodies are not. It is provably false that male bodies are the same as female bodies. Yes, I agree with you 100% on that statement. Let's see. I know what James says. Geez, bro, you traveling in? I wasn't expecting to, but I kind of have to. But I'm only gone for like 4 days. I'll be back on Wednesday. Rosie says the only truth she spoke was that the issue was completely made up. Yes, by them. Exactly, Rosie. I agree. Let's see. I know James says, what about us? Well, I think we'll be able to do Sunday night, and I think we'll be able to do Monday night from my road studio. And Tuesday, though, is going to be a no-go, I think. Let's see. Unless I get back and I just have insane energy, which I don't think I will. Oh, no, wait a second. No, Tuesday I can't. Because I'm traveling. Can I do Tuesday? Maybe, actually. Maybe. I might be able to do Tuesday, but I think I'm planning on doing Sunday and Monday right now, so. I know what James says. I gave you a like on YouTube. Well, that's extra good karma for you, my friend. All right. What do we got? All right, let's do this. Here's some palate cleansers for us. Jack Russell retrieves a ball stuck on a tree for his brother. Never give up. Isn't this so much nicer than horrible news about awful corrupt politicians? This is nice. The dog's like, okay, how the hell do I get down now? It's just pure joy, isn't it? It's just pure joy. That's so awesome. That's the antidote for all of the terrible news right there. She is so tickled at this video and the comments that were made. Comment section can be hilarious, and I love these. Got the little... All right, let's take a look. What's going on here? Oh, geez. What happened to this poor guy?
I've been laughing for 15 minutes straight. I'm going to show you a video, and then I'm going to show you the comments.
Yeah, dude, I said I wanted a mullet, and this is what the barber gave me. I don't think this is a mullet.
Look sick, my lord. Maybe they didn't hear you correctly. How many shillings did you pay for that cut? Did you specify which century you wanted them on? Tomfoolery in the front, knavery in the back.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Tomfoolery in the front, knavery in the back. Because it's, what was it, business in front and party in the back? I like it.
Front, knavery in the back. Do you know the muffin? Okay, Sean Schiegelheimer Schmidt. He gave you the 1-2 buckle my shoe special. Go to the Renaissance Fair immediately. Got the little Debbie.
That's pretty good. I enjoyed that one. Watch this here. This is kind of crazy. You got to pay attention right at the end. Oh, hold on. And you have to notice there's a strap here connected to looks like a pickup truck over there. Oh, did you see that? It came flying back. I think it knocked him out. Ouch, ouch. See if we can catch it right at the moment. Here it comes. Boom. Oh, that hammered him with force. Yikes. Anyway, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm looking out for you guys. Don't do that. Man's lawnmower randomly explodes while he's using it. What the heck? No sound. Oh. See, my fear with that would be getting a lawnmower blade through my throat or in my head, which would be bad. Let's see. What's going on here? John posted this somewhere. Pulled up to this McDonald's with my dog Nugget. And the guy in the drive-thru goes, "Oh, shit, that's a cute dog. What's his name?" I say Nugget. He asks if Nugget wants a treat. I say, yeah, assuming it'll be a dog bone or something like Starbucks does with pup cups. The guy disappears for a second, comes back and hands me a bag full of chicken nuggets. Not one, a bag. My dog was happier than I've ever seen him in his life. Look, he does look very happy there. I thank the kid and he goes, "No sweat. It's my last day. I'm giving out free shit like crazy. You want a hat or something?" Absolute legend. Absolute legend. Nugget rates this place 5 stars. Boom. Doesn't take that much to really make somebody's day. Dad built a roller coaster in his backyard for his kids. This is cool. That's really cool. Makes me feel like I was lazy when my kids were little. I didn't build that for them. But on a darker note, this did take place on Epstein Island. I know. Bad joke. What's going on here? That looks like Hunter Biden. Cocaine-fueled sharks are on the prowl in the Caribbean. Scientists blame partying tourists. It was Hunter Biden. It was Hunter Biden. We know it. Let's see. What's this? Juanita Broderick. Date a girl who wears glasses. It's like dating 2 girls when she takes them off. Heavier says, wash off her makeup and then you get 3 girls. James says, remove her Instagram filter and then you get to date 4 girls. Henry says, take her meds away and you could have up to 10. Boom. I love it. What the heck? What is going on with these dingbats? Dr. Jebra Fauci posted this. A man held a door open for me and called me beautiful, so I guess I'll be cutting off all my hair now. Well, let's take a look.
What are we doing today?
A man hit on me today.
We'll fix that.
Okay, I got to turn off the music. I mean, not just for copyright, just because it's awful. Let's see. So she wants to solve the problem of being hit on by men. And she solved it. But I think she already had it solved before. And by the way, I'm not even talking about the hairdresser there. But I think she already had the problem solved. And she imagined that somebody hit on her. And they didn't really. maybe held a door open or something. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Oh, God. From Jebra Fauché again. Spoiler alert, everything is gay and trans in the movie. Well, if Stephen Colbert is actually writing a new Lord of the Rings movie, and he is, and I saw a video with him and Peter Jackson, yeah, it's going to be terrible. New Lord of the Rings movie from Stephen Colbert and his son in development at Warner Brothers. Now, apparently the son's sole film credit is this, which hasn't been done. Yeah, so this is actually real. And yes, everybody will be gay and trans in it. And it's from the perspective, apparently, of Samwise Gamgee's daughter. So, of course. Why? They should have just stopped after the original trilogy of movies. Those were good. I enjoyed those. Everything else has been garbage. They should have just stopped. What's this? A lesson in wisdom. May you all listen and learn from the master. I haven't even listened to this. I just thought it looked hilarious. So I'm going to watch this with you for the first time.
Master, what is the secret to eternal happiness? Do not argue with stupid people. That's it? I don't think that works. You are right. Master, what is...
I don't know what the hell that is. Funny, when you're fighting with someone in the comment section, this is who you're arguing with. Yes, the guy who is having a shower in is that a yak's piss? So, I don't know. Maybe it's good for your skin. I don't know. I just know that I'm never going to do that. Let's see. What's going on here? New live-action remake of Charlotte's Web leaves me wanting a different ending for Wilbur. Well, let's take a peek. So I'm guessing somebody's going to be the end of their genetic line, and it's going to be this person. And good God, I is that a pig lady or a pig man? I can't really tell with all the fat. I'm gonna say probably pig lady. Looks like the other pigs aren't very into this either. They're like, I think they want to be left alone from pig lady man. Whatever this is, which I don't know. Oh yeah, we have to do this. In corporate America, this is called an icebreaker. You do it to get to know your coworkers. And we did this earlier, but it's been too long. It's been too long since we did this, and we're going to do it right now. Hold on. There is this button on my soundboard that, hold on. They're cheering. She got it out. One more time. The expression, I timed that perfectly. Let's do it one more time. Hold on. One more time. Why? Because it's there. That's why, because it's there. Dudes posting their W's. This Irishman rescued a seal named Sally. After finding her emaciated on the beach, nursed her back to health, and now they share a special bond. See, this is nice. This is a palate cleanser. This is a feel-good story. Let's take a peek.
This is Sally in her armchair. She sits here most of the day, and she's chewed the upholstery off to make it more comfortable.
Well, Sally, go for a swim. Good girl. Good girl. That's my pet. Good girl. I live on my own, so I don't have anybody to contend with about the state of the furniture or anything like that, and it certainly doesn't bother me. I'd much prefer to have her. It's been the nicest thing that ever happened to me, I think.
I live alone. Doesn't bother me. I'd much prefer to have her. I'm guessing this is a man who's got a couple of divorces under his belt.
So now she's part of the family. That's it. Sally? Sit there, Sally.
Sally was found emaciated on a beach and brought to Frank Mulroney, the local vet. He's nursed her back to health and they have formed a special bond. She won't take food from anyone else. He takes her swimming in a seawater pool, but now faces a dilemma. He says he'll do whatever is best for her, but she can't or won't feed herself, and until she does, he cannot let her go back to the wild.
If she can't go back, I'd put a proper pool at the house and make a proper ramp for her where she can get in and out, build a shelter for her, and I think she'll be quite happy there.
With mornings spent in an armchair and afternoons here at the swimming pool, Sally's life is not particularly stressful. It's hard to be absolutely sure, of course, but she seems pretty happy with the way things are.
You know, I don't understand this thing where people, you know, they'll get like a wild animal and then they'll like for like a baby one and then they'll like raise it and nurse it back to health and everything. And then they're determined to set it into the wild. I think wild animals hate living in the wild. Wouldn't you? I would. I'd hate living like in a tree or a bush or something. I have to dig a hole in the ground to live in. Way rather live in a house. Like there's not things trying to kill me. I think this is the way the animals see it too. They probably hate it when they try and send them out. And they probably, if they think, oh, wow, I want to go out, and very quickly, I bet you they regret it. I bet you there's a lot of regretful animals out there that, you know, some human nursed them back to health, let them hang out in the house, chew the furniture, whatever. And then they decided, well, I think I'm better. They didn't realize how good they got it. They went out, then they couldn't find their way back, and they probably hate themselves for it. Living out in the wild is awful. Horrible. Why wouldn't they hate it? We hate it, right? We'd hate it. We'd hate living in a bush. Why wouldn't they hate it? Of course they do. All right. Let's do one more, and then let's see if there's something fun. No, that's it. We're done. 2 hours and 7 minutes. I've already gone over my time that I wanted to do. So 2 hours and 7 minutes. I saw a guy who was like a internet expert on the internet, and he said that really 2 hours and 7 minutes and 49 seconds is really for a live stream. And I believe him. So we'll call it at that. Let's do the last bit of chat, then we're going to get out of here, folks. And then I can start preparing and packing and stuff. Let's see. Rosie says, good night, all. My stream keeps stopping. Well, that's a bummer. Maybe it seems like it's a little bit, the Rumble side is a bit glitchy tonight, but oh well. You're still there, Rosie. Thanks for showing up. Hopefully we'll see you Sunday. All right. Trudeau Survivor says the Yak Golden Shower could be worse. He could be drinking it. Well, how do we know he's not? Could have boiled it into a tea or something. Ugh. Yuck. Let's see. Spambot says, just waiting for an anaconda to eat that pig. He, she. Who knows? Who knows anymore? Trudeau Survivor says, pig lady is probably AI, like the fat woman pretending to be a dog and getting attacked by a dog. Was that AI? That one had me fooled. But thinking back, it was a bit weird, a bit awkward, wasn't it? The visual is painful enough, as he says. Freedom Butterfly says, the pig dude with moobs needs to be delivered to the hillbillies in the movie Deliverance. That sounds like a marriage made in heaven. Everybody's happy. Let's see. Dueling banjos playing. That's right. Let's see. All right, let's skip down to the bottom. All right, Freedom Butterfly says, you have a nice night, Richie. Everybody have a nice night. Everybody have. Thanks for showing up, you guys. Let's see. Trudeau Survivor says, you don't need that much time to pack. 10 minutes. I got to make sure I got my road studio and everything. I need some time, people. I need some time. Bambot says, Rumble is glitchy. X is smooth. Smooth as silk. All right. All right, that's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. Thank you, guys. Thanks for showing up. I think we actually had an excellent stream tonight. I think it was a very high-quality stream. I think the chat was in fine form this evening. Thank you all for showing up. If you weren't here, I wouldn't do this because it would be depressing, ranting to a cold and indifferent universe. But because you guys are here, it's fun. So thanks. I'm going to try, again, I'm going to try and be back Sunday night. Should be should be, but I'm on the road, so you never really know. But I should be back Sunday night. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. And hopefully I'll talk to you in a couple of days. Good night, everyone.